Versatile Mage. Chapter 181 Breaking Through the Shadow Stardust. The demoness should have been wounded, too. She was probably frightened and escaping to somewhere else. They wouldn't be able to catch her even if they pursued her. After the man had been sent to the hospital, the doctor didn't find anything strange on his body. He made it clear that the man was very weak, and there were signs of severe blood loss. Mo Fan and Lingerling stood guard at the hospital all the way until the sun rose again. Only after they ensured the man's condition wasn't abnormal did they leave. "Are you sure he won't shed again?" After walking out of the hospital, Mo Fan couldn't help but ask Lingerling. "Don't worry. Although I can't investigate just what kind of creature it is, I am sure that it won't appear during daytime," Lingerling said. "Just what is he? Human, or a magical beast?" Mo Fan felt very hesitant about what to do next. If she said he was a demon, well, the man in the hospital was actually no different from a normal human. Calling him a human, Mo Fan had personally seen him shed his human skin, turning into a ferocious creature. "I need to go back home and research. However, our commission can be considered complete. The remaining trivial things can be left to the City Hunter Squad," Lingerling said. Based on the way Lingerling spoke, she made it sound like the City Hunter Squad was their subordinate. This made Mo Fan feel like the authority of a venerable hunter was indeed something. "Don't worry, I'll return to school first. Will the City Hunter Squad take care of the kid?" Mo Fan looked at the little boy still sucking his thumb next to him. This kid seemed to be scared of Mo Fan. He thought Mo Fan was going to take him on yet another free bungee jump from the building. As he looked at Mo Fan, tears filled his eyes. "Yeah, you can return to school first. After the man has sent the commission fee to us, we will transfer you half of it." Lingerling also didn't say much. She had an adorable appearance, but as she pushed up her thick black glasses, she suddenly seemed to be old and overworked. Mo Fan returned to the school just after dawn. He was so exhausted that he fell asleep the second he laid down. He didn't even think about the matter of the battles with the ugly demons. If he would have encountered this kind of magical beast monster in the past, Mo Fan would definitely be an insomniac now. After being in Bo City's Hunter Squad for a period of time and experiencing the calamity of Bo City, this kind of thing was no longer able to affect him. When he finally woke up, the day was dark. If it wasn't for his stomach rumbling, he probably could have continued sleeping longer. After crawling out of his bed, Mo Fan ran toward the dining hall. There were only a few people left in the dining hall. In the large hall, the lights were rather cold and cheerless. The only person there was Mo Fan, sitting there wolfing down his food. The feeling of being full is great. After belching loudly, Mo Fan left the dining hall feeling very satisfied. Clearsky Hunter Agency's efficiency was indeed very high. Just as Mo Fan returned to his dormitory, he received a transfer notification of 150,000 RMB. This was genuine money. Mo Fan felt some excitement. Although it was quite a distance from $1 million, he finally had a proper source of income. He believed that if he slowly saved it up, he would eventually save enough to purchase a spirit-grade lightning seed. When that happened, his strength would also receive a great increase. A few days later, Mo Fan hadn't received any messages from Lingerling. Mo Fan didn't go and investigate. He was just peacefully cultivating. His shadow stardust had some clear transformations emerging from it. A layer of black silk was wrapping around the outside of it like a subverted halo. Mo Fan clearly remembered the exact same thing happening when his fire and lightning element were breaking through to the intermediate level. Their magic lights were being used as a cocoon. "All right, tonight, we'll break through with you." Mo Fan was excited. It seemed his shadow stardust had finally reached a critical point and was going to break through the tiny stardust and open up a new world for itself. "Little Loach pendant, it's up to you now." Mo Fan removed the little loach pendant from his chest and gave it a kiss before praying for a blessing. After finding a quiet place to sit, Mo Fan entered his own spiritual world and began to attack the cultivation barrier of the shadow element. After his previous experiences, Mo Fan was more understanding of what was required here, and understood what was called all in one go. Mo Fan wasn't going to waste his own mental energy like the way he had before. Instead, he meditated normally first, to allow himself to reach his best state. He didn't attempt to do anything rash. It would be a waste of his mental energy. A magician's mental energy was limited. Wasting even just a little bit when attacking his cultivation barrier could lead to a fatal defeat. What appeared to be a large tide emerged within his spiritual world. A beach was then unveiled. The muddy sand that was covered by the sea during all times of the year also appeared. At a glance, it was actually muddy ground, like the ocean had withdrawn from this area. Since a large tsunami was coming by, the usual tide should be withdrawing. The ebbing of the tides wasn't due to the tsunami, it was due to the attack of a big omen. Mo Fan was currently storing and refining his power. He turned his intent into a ferocious, surging tsunami. He wanted to burst the cultivation barrier before him. He wanted to occupy an even larger area. "Come, break for me," Mo Fan shouted in his heart. In an instant, his mental energy turned into what appeared to be a torrential wave. Without hesitation, it attacked the cultivation dam that restricted his cultivation. His intent was imposing and ferocious. As an intermediate magician, Mo Fan's intent was already much stronger than others. This time, he definitely used what he had learned from that lesson in the past. Using a massive spurt of energy was precisely the method of breaking through the stardust. At least, Mo Fan thought that he couldn't be gentle toward the shadow stardust. As expected, the shadow stardust showed a bit of resistance in the beginning, and even rebounded a mental attack back at him. The thing is, how could Mo Fan not know that there'd be such a mental attack coming? In the past, when he wasn't strong at all, he clenched his teeth and endured it. Knowing that there was such a mental attack coming, what was there to be afraid of? Mo Fan now possessed two nebulas. A mental attack from a stardust was nothing compared to genuine might. After enduring it for a little bit, Mo Fan used the burst to break into the shadow stardust's dam, and it nearly fell apart. The midnight star halos around the stardust were cracking. After breaking, he could clearly feel that the new shadow element was a beast that wanted to obtain an even bigger territory. It frantically swallowed up everything in its surroundings, condensing them into a domain that belonged to itself. The small stardust area was no longer able to contain the energy of the new shadow element. It spread out, rotated, occupied space, and quickly turned into a clump of nebula. It was like a beautiful black rose blossoming inside the vast space. Shadow Nebula, Mo Fan cried out in excitement. Good, I have yet another element. Reaching the intermediate level, Mo Fan was naturally happy. Having one more breakthrough meant yet another intermediate spell. Although completing the drawing of the Shadow Nebula would require a period of time, Mo Fan still had some Shadow Star Atlas books that were given to him by his beloved teacher, Tang Yu. There were 3 Star Atlas books in total. It meant that once Mo Fan broke into the intermediate level with his shadow element, he would be able to directly use the intermediate magic of shadow. Fire Burst, Fiery Fist, Lightning Strike, Thunderbolt, Evading Shadow, Colossal Shadow Nail, Dimensional Summon. He was now a man who possessed 7 different spells. Who can now mess with I, the great Mo Fan? Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.